Hey, what's up, good people? We want to welcome you to another edition of The Family Room.
We are back. Have you subscribed to our channel? Make sure you like it. And don't forget, we want you to email us, jrmthefamilyroom, come on now, @gmail.com. I want to hear from you. Don't you want to hear?
Yes, and the purpose of the email is so that you can send us questions. We want to be able to come back on the following episodes and be able to answer and give you some answers to some of those questions that you have. And we know that it'll be exciting.
Yes, you can look in the comments. You can look down right there. It says jrmfamilyroom@gmail.com. So this topic, I'm excited because we're in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yes.
And what's going on right now?
We are in the NBA Finals for the second time in the history
Of the
franchise. Yeah.
They all remember Reggie Miller,
Reggie was cold. He was serious.
Come on now.
But it's been exciting to watch, though. I don't think anybody outside of Indianapolis thought we were going to get.
They don't play, but they don't talk about us, right? They don't play us right.
They don't treat us right. But they will if we win this thing.
I'm watching, but we still made it.
Yeah.
I was like, even give us our props for making it there.
Yeah.
But today's topic is going to be about
the will of God.
Is it the will of God?
Yeah. Athletics, sports.
And parenting.
We'll tie parenting in there. But
that's the main topic. It's about the parenting with this. So, he wants us to
we're gonna slip a little bit of that.
I guess he wants us to be the next first take.
No, we're not being first take. I'm not trying to do that. No.
But we are going to talk about what do you do as a parent when you feel like, okay, people don't hear me. People don't see me. Halliburton's daddy got himself in a little situation that went national.
Yeah.
Tell them a little bit. Give them the backdrop.
Yeah, the backdrop is, I think, number one, I think that he is probably an incredible father because you can tell his passion for his son, his passion for being there to support him at everything. But in this particular game, he got excited. We put Milwaukee out. Giannis and those guys are still down on the court. Fans are running down on the court. Right. So Pops comes down there. He got this sign. He's holding it up in front of Giannis. And I guess he just brings it closer. I don't know all the details.
And there was like some verbal
it was some verbal back. It was some serious verbal going on. Yeah. And what happened is, I remember at the end of it, he ended up with foreheads touching each other, which means
he said he was
Giannis
like this, and Giannis was like here, so he kept looking down on him.
And their foreheads were actually touching each other, and they're saying whatever they need to say, I guess. And so as a result of that, they put him out for a while. He couldn't come to the games for I think 2 or 3 different games, and eventually they let Pops back in.
Yeah. So the passion that he had for his son, you heard both sides of the story. Like, so his dad shouldn't have been on the court, and then some people are like, that's my child. You need to do what you need to do. What are your thoughts on how a parent what a parent's role should be? So we have a son that was very athletic. You were an athlete in school and in college. What is our role as parents when our children are on these organized teams?
I think our role is to support them and let the coaches coach. But there are times that I think that one of the things we did with John is that we taught him how to handle coaches. We taught him how to talk to adults.
Yes.
And how to bring concerns and things like that to them when it was necessary.
And they didn't always take that well because we did teach him how to communicate.
Yes, and he communicated well, and he was not fearful of them.
Right. And some of them didn't like that, remember?
Exactly. He was articulate, he was sharp, and they could tell that, he came from a good family, the whole nine.
Right.
And it's interesting, but that didn't sit well with some of them sometimes.
No, it didn't. They would say things like, I don't care who your daddy is.
Yeah.
For some reason, they didn't think he communicated with us because he would tell us everything.
He would tell us everything. And sometimes, and that's what we're trying to get to.
Yes.
How much is too much, or how far do you go? The one thing that I loved about Halliburton and his father was that when he went on his interview, the very first thing he said was, I didn't agree with what Pops did.
Right.
He said, I'm going to have a conversation with him.
Yeah,
and you could tell they had that conversation. Everything was great afterwards, which kind of feeds into what we're talking about. How far do you go as the parent? And then when do you need to back up as a parent? And not just the NFL finals. We're talking about Pee Wee League, we're talking about middle school, we're talking about high school.
Right, AAU teams, all of that, whether your child is in band, in the arts, in theater, dance, all of that. What did that show you, though, about Tyrese Halliburton's relationship with his father, based off of how he responded, how his father responded.
I think they have an incredible relationship. Of course, I don't know either one of them, but
right. But
it
based
seems
off
like
of
they have an
perception,
incredible relationship because even with the fact that him saying, "I'm going to talk to Pops about this,"
yes,
and the way his father came back, you could just tell that there's mutual respect, which is the part that we've been talking about a little bit, which is
right.
as your child gets older in sports, you got to develop mutual respect. So if your child feels like you're overbearing as a fan, so to speak,
right.
at games and things of that nature, that they have the liberty to come and talk to you and you back that thing down, or how do you go about working that out?
Right. Because the reality is you have to be in reality. Everybody's child is not the next Michael Jordan,
Exactly.
the next Tamika Catchings, the next Cheryl Swoops, the next, Emmitt Smith. We all think our child has the next Serena Williams. Coco just won the Australian Open. Everybody's child is not, like, less than 1% make it to the NBA.
And while we're on that, let me throw this out. I think that you're doing your kid a discredit if you're not realistic with them.
Same.
Example, I knew that John's sports he was going to be gifted in track and gifted in football. Those were going to be his sports. So one day he came in, he talked to me about basketball. Dad, I think I want to go out from basketball. He was in middle school.
Because they saw his vertical during gym.
Yeah, well, that, and here's what I said to him. I said, let me guess. The basketball coach came to see you play football, right? Saw you score 2 or 3 touchdowns that game, this, that, and the other. Then he saw
physical assessment that did.
Then the assessments that you did, that's what happened, right? And that's when he asked you. He said, yes. I said, okay, let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to make the team because of your athleticism.
Right.
I said, but you're not going to play.
Gonna be in
I said, so let's just go ahead and focus on getting this track speed ready. So when track starts at your school, you're already in top speed shape and you're ready to race.
Right. But we let him try. He tried soccer when he was about 5.
Terrible.
Swimming.
It's not
the
the will
only
of
thing
God.
we didn't try was, we tried basketball at the sports zone. We didn't try baseball. I don't know why we didn't try baseball.
Yeah.
But we didn't try baseball. I think you must just didn't like baseball.
It wasn't my preference.
Because I'm like, my brothers played baseball. It was kind of fun when they were growing up, taking them to the baseball field. But in my neighborhood, all the boys played baseball.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to play baseball, but my grandfather wouldn't let me. He said girls couldn't play.
Was the coach going to let you?
Didn't matter because my grandfather said. My grandfather said.
What he said was law.
He said that, nope, girls couldn't play baseball. That at that time. And in that season, that's what was happening and taking place.
Yeah.
But we let Johnny try all these different sports. And then once he got to middle school, so middle school is 6th, 7th, and 8th. Some places they have junior high, 7th, and 8th. Once he got to 6th, 7th grade, because here's the deal, parents, you spend all this money on these athletes. Can you imagine how much money Tyrese Halliburton's parents have spent?
No, I can't.
To get him to where he is. We had told our son, hey, you're not doing everything. You got to narrow this down to 2 things.
Yeah.
Because also you got to focus on your academics.
And he was doing Taekwondo too.
Oh, yeah.
About 6, 7 years.
He did that for a long time.
And he did that all the way into middle school.
Yeah, he did.
And then that's when he came to us and said he wanted to pull out.
He wanted to pull out Taekwondo. So we said, okay, but you got to narrow this down because you also have to be, financially wise in your choices.
Yeah.
Because these parents have tens of thousands of dollars and their child is not even decent.
That's where I was going, because one of the things that we've seen is we've seen parents that can't afford it drive all over the country for AAU games 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row, spending tens of thousands of dollars, and then your kid doesn't even get a scholarship, doesn't even get somebody to look at them. So you got to be realistic with it. I'm not saying to cut your kid off. I'm not saying that they're no good. I'm just simply saying is that you got to decide, you got to understand that long after that basketball career or whatever it is your kid has going on ends, you still got to pay bills and you still got to have a future to look at, and they're going to go to college. So now you got to write checks and fork out money to help them get through college. So I think that sometimes everybody got this Michael Jordan mentality where they think their kid's going to be the absolute best. And sometimes you got to just be balanced with it.
We don't have that problem. We love our
all.
children, but we don't have a problem helping train them up in the way that they should go. So we can say that that's not your gifting.
Yeah.
Well, I know you like it, but you're not a singer. You're tone deaf.
And you said that recently, didn't you?
Come on now. I said, you are not a basketball player, but you are this. We will invest in this and be happy with being this. Yeah. And it's okay. You don't have to do the same things that your friends are doing, because sometimes as parents, we feel the pressure like, well, because their friends are involved in this, or the parent. There's peer pressure in parenting. Okay, because you're in this organization or you're in this, you want to spend all this money to put your kids in that organization, and you don't even see them being gifted in those things in that organization.
Or they'll do all of that with all this money towards a sport, and they don't sit down with them and work with them on their homework. So now they get to be seniors, but they don't have the grades to get a scholarship. That happened to one of my friends in high school.
It's a lot. But let's pause and talk about work hard, play hard.
Got it.
Summertime is right here. It's around the corner, and we have hobbies, and we want to push you to work hard and play hard. So guess what? Somebody got a new hobby.
Yeah, and she helps me with that because she pushes me to make sure I'm doing some things for myself. So one of my armor bearers is a great bowler. I mean, serious bowl. So we were talking about it one day. I said, man, I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna start bowling. I hadn't bowled in like 20 years. And so I got my little stuff together.
What's your stuff?
I had to order my stuff.
What you have to get? What's
Well, first of all, I had to get me a pair of bowling shoes.
He had to. Did you?
Yes, it was the will of God for me to get something, because I'm not putting my feet in something that 1,000 feet is.
Do they look like them bowling shoes when we go rim bowling, like a color down the middle, one color on one side, one color on the other side? They still make them like that?
I don't know if they still make them like that, but I saw some last week, and just put it this way, they didn't look
What
good.
color are yours?
Mine are like black and white or something like that.
Okay. All right. What else do you have to get?
Yeah, and then I got a ball. Got the holes drilled in it specifically
for
my finger, because I'm not putting my hand in something that 1,000 people had their hand in. So the only hand I want in my ball is mine.
What color is it?
Oh, my ball?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got some blue to it, got a little glitter to it. So that way, even when I'm bowling terrible, it looks good.
It looks good. So you got your ball, the bag, the shoes.
Yeah.
And what is the goal for you with this new hobby?
For me, the goal is just to enjoy, because my first couple of games, I was terrible. I would have been put in the Hall of Shame.
What is good in bowling? I don't know nothing about it. You see, I got nailed, because he was like, you want to go bowling?
If you under 100, that may not be. But most people, when we do bowling, we do it for fun. So that's what I'm doing. But in the process of that, I am trying to learn a few things to pick up my game and make it decent. I'm not one of them guys out there, I bowled 200. I'm never going to be that guy. But I want to be out there and be solid with my game.
Because this play hard for you is for you to get your mind off of
everything I do.
Everything that you do. Okay? That's the goal.
Yep.
So when we say work hard, play hard, it is to go and play, just like recess.
Yep.
Remember recess?
Yep.
What was your favorite thing at recess? It's like monkey bars, the slide. Remember that thing that you could be on and be ready to throw up?
We played football, or it was kickball, or it was basketball.
Or basketball.
It was always, so I was always playing the sport.
So you never did the jungle gym stuff?
No, I never messed with
You never did that. But recess. That's the problem. They've taken recess like out of middle schools, and those kids need recess still. So work hard, play hard. All right, we'll talk about mine on the next episode that we do. But as we finish up this talk, what is it that we have to do as parents to be able to let our kid play in these athletics, be on the dance team, be on the debate team, be in this, art competition, the science competition, and learn how to support them without invading their personal space? Like we say all the time, there's a difference between enabling and supporting.
Right. I think what we have to do is be realistic with our kids in terms of their talents and their abilities. I also think that we got to give our kids some space. If you're one of those loud parents at games and all that, if your kid tells you that it's embarrassing, then maybe back up off of that and say, okay, honey, I'm just excited for you. I'm sorry, but I'm going to chill. I'm going to back up a little bit on that. And then give them that consideration. Because what could happen is if you say, well, I'm the parent anyways, and I'm going to do what I want to do at the game. Well, then now you're going to impact their performance.
Right.
Because they're down there feeling humiliated while you're up there screaming and going into cardiac arrest and all the other stuff. So I think you got to give them some space. You got to respect what they want and what they think is best for them as well. But also, I don't think that experience is the best teacher. I think guided experience
Absolutely
is the best teacher. So walk them along, but also respect some of the things, some of the feedback that you get from them. There are times, don't go to the coaches, let the coaches coach, but there are times, there might be times, let me put it that way, where you need to address one. And when you do, there's a certain way that you need to do
and
it.
follow the protocol of that organization
Of
on
what they
how
say.
you communicate.
If it's an
with
email,
the
if it's,
coaches.
and then they give you a meeting or whatever it is, do that.
Yes, make
Don't
sure
run
you
up
do
on
that. And when you were talking to your child, make sure it's cognitively appropriate. Don't give them a 20-minute lesson about the end zone and, being offsides and they're 5. They're going to give you about 3 minutes of their attention span. So put it in bullet points real quick, give them 3 minutes. And guess what? If your kid says, I don't want to do this anymore, I don't like it. Do you let them quit? Do you make them finish the season? What do you do?
Well, John wanted to quit Taekwondo, if you remember.
He did.
But he was very good at it.
But he wasn't good yet.
He was getting there.
He was getting there.
And so I told him, okay, what if Pops do it with you? If I come out and if I train Taekwondo,
yeah, you did.
Will you stay with it? And so I did. And
you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was hard.
Yeah.
And John got, I think, his 2nd degree black belt. I got my first, but I'm telling you, it was difficult. The tests were difficult,
right?
But it was rewarding at the same time. So because of that, he stayed in another 3 years.
Yeah, that was your way of coming alongside of him and supporting him through the difficult times. So as we wrap up this segment, we just want you to understand that we see you as parents. We understand it's not easy in parenting, but we don't want you being blasted in national news because you down there on the field or on the court. Like Tyrese Halliburton's daddy. We want you to be able to walk your way through it, breathe through it, and go back and watch this again and see if you can glean some tips on how you can support your children, but also, as you said, give them some space to learn and grow. Well, this has been another episode of The Family Room.
And we are so glad that you locked in. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notification button. Make sure that you like the videos. Yeah. All that is going to help us build and do the things that we're trying to do. And we can't do it without you.
We'll see you next week.